Incredible back and forth where it just didn't feel like we were making progress. I mean, it felt like we were making progress. And then you look at the score and you made a mistake, you turned it over when you should have made a layup, and instead it's back up to 8. And you know, there's a lot of times you don't feel like there's only so many of those you can take when you keep looking back at the score and you're not making a dent in it. And again, I think that shows a lot of growth and maturity from our group, that they're still finding ways to just kind of grind and you know, try to just, whatever happened, let's just try to get a stop. Let's just try to do something here and then come back down. Again, it's a crazy team to play. You can't really run anything. You just have to be patient with the ball and move the ball. And generally, you're either going to turn it over or you're going to get a really good look. And we gave them plenty of turnovers, but we also got a lot of good looks as well.
Kenny, I thought that, you know, you had the right combination on the floor in the last 2 minutes, and I know you switched that at one point. Some of your go-tos were not on the floor, and probably at times you wanted to get them in there, but I thought those kids that were in there, you know, kept it close. And then you get in the last, well, looking here, in the last minute of play, Sacramento State gets called for a travel and 3 fouls. You can't ask for a better defense on 3 possessions in the last minute than that.
All right. Well, to go back to your first point, I think I thought Dee Dee was gassed, and I thought she was gassed a lot of times, and I wouldn't take her out. And that's, again, that's a bad coaching move on my part, because I don't think she is as good as she can be when she gets to that point. And she was gassed, and we were still 8 or 6 down. So it's not what I want to do, take, you know, arguably your best player out of the game. But at that point, it just shows you, you know, sometimes it's not about that. It's just the 5 that are on the floor and how they play well together. And Becca just does everything right. Put Becca in, put Katie in, just because I thought Katie might give us a little more offense and a little bit more solid with the ball handling. And it's just worked. You know, those 5 that probably don't play together very much in practice at all of a sudden, you know, they're getting stops and they're making some points, and they're the ones getting us back in the game. And so that's a great statement to those guys that come off the bench and made an impact in the game. And, you know, again, give us a chance to win the game. You know, I thought they're not a real big team. We don't normally get free throw rebounds, you know, missed free throw rebounds, but they're not very big either. I thought Lindsay made a great play and to tap it out and get Katie to the foul line. I think that's a play of the game, and she probably wanted to do that after missing the short little jumper to put us ahead. But again, I just think people really wanted to make plays for our team and put themselves in position to make game-changing plays.
We'll talk about Longwell. I mean, she comes out of nowhere to hit a huge 3-pointer to pull you within 2, and then she, you know, she steals the ball at the other end a couple possessions later. Missed a couple free throws, and then gets a huge rebound on a missed free throw. I mean, she had an incredible 3 minutes of play there, where she really became a factor in the biggest part of the game.
It's crazy because I remember the turnover that she kicked out of bounds, which was kind of out. She did all the good stuff. She worked and worked and worked and got the ball in the middle of the floor and then just made a spin move. And that's the hard part. Again, I give those guys coming off the bench a lot of credit because they have a short leash. They know they can't mess up. You know, they've got to be almost perfect. And but I just, you know, she's got a lot of courage and she wants to take big shots. And I just really felt like we needed, as long as she was going to be okay defensively, you know, not letting people just rip drive past her or hurting us on the boards. I really like her as a second point guard on the court, because I do think she's got a good IQ for the game. And again, she's just a player that probably is maximizing her, her chance and her potential. She's not trying to do anything she's incapable of doing, and in doing that, she helps us, and she gives us really solid minutes from the guard spot.
Talk about Steph Lee's overall game. Maybe her best overall game of the year, do you think?
I think it was really good. She really had to get out and guard on the perimeter too, and that was hard for her. But again, I thought that was crucial too, because again, when Becca came in, you know, she has to go chase around their best player, number 23, and I thought she did a great job. And you know, when she does miss those, I always look at it and go, why is she missing those? Because this was really a team that if she just took her time and worked her way to the rim, she could get any shot she wants. She just tends to sometimes take a little harder shot, and that plays into people that are being really aggressive against her. But gosh, the points that she produced for us and big shots late, I mean, 28 points, you know, 4 assists. She really made a lot of things happen for us.
I'd have to look. I don't know. I think this may put you within the game of clinching the spot. I'd have to, you know, with 3 left or 4 left. I don't know how many you were up. I think you were up 2 of being at the bottom of the top 8. I'd have to double look, double check. But
I think we were.
Obviously doesn't hurt.
We just, today we said today was moving day. And that was our thought process, is that probably some teams are really moving up and some are moving down, and we just wanted to be the moving up team. And I am very mindful of the fact that, you know, we could lay an egg, not against this team. This team is really good. This team could have beaten us easily. But we could play against people that we're probably better than and not play well and lose. And we could lose 5 in a row. I mean, that can happen just because that's the nature of the game. So it's very important for us to continue to get better and to compete each and every game as though it was our getting to the tournament. Life depends on it. And so I thought our team, you know, finally really stepped up and made enough plays that at least gives us a chance to move up and maybe at some point down the road secures a spot in the tournament, which is our key. That is the main goal, is get to the tournament. But at the same time, you know, let's just win the next game. Let's just take care of that, and then we'll see where we end up at the end.
Okay, thank you.
Any questions, Coach?
Yeah, I was wondering, being as it was play for K night, if you could talk a little bit about playing for Kay and how she influenced you.
Well, you might have to have about 10 minutes for that. I remember Kay Yao. I went to FCA camps when I was in college, and she was a counselor, which, again, big-time college coaches never go to FCA camps and are counselors there. So that was my first experience of just meeting her and watching her interact. And she was this big-time college coach. And then, obviously, I was fortunate enough when I get to college, I obviously know who Kay Yao is. She was a part of USA Basketball, and she was the World Championship coach when I made that team in 1986 when we went to Russia. And we played the two tournaments over in Russia, so she took us over there. And it was the first time we'd beaten the Russians in 26 years, the U.S. team. So she was the first coach to do that in 26 years. But what I know of Coach Yao is just, I know her as a coach. I know her as a role model. I know her as she was in that trailblazing generation, and I told the team about her that she talked about, she tried to check out 10 towels from when she was in junior high or high school, and the equipment guy wouldn't let her check them out unless she swore she brought them back. And they won the city championship, and she wasn't celebrating, she was chasing down the towels. She was just so conscientious and concerned and compassionate and passionate about who she gives her word to and people. And she was the coach of second chances. I mean, she never gave up on her kids. She didn't give up on me. I probably wasn't the best point guard in the world anymore when I blew out my knee in '87, and she chose me for that team anyway. She took 3-point guards, and I know I wasn't as good as I was in '86, but she was loyal to me. She was a woman of unbelievable faith in how she represented her Savior and how she loved people. And honestly, she would talk to anybody, and she would give you total attention until you basically walked away. She was just so kind, and I just love what she did. She fought, and she fought, and she fought, and she couldn't overcome cancer, but she impacted so many lives, young people that wanted, and that we're all living in women's basketball. And I I don't want us to ever forget that. All the people, those trailblazers, you know, that these young guys don't even know anymore. But the fact that she lived and we watched her die so gracefully. And I told the team, I love that quote about her, that it's okay to dip your toes into self-pity, in the pool of self-pity. Just don't go wading or swimming in it. And, you know, she said that when she's probably pretty much on her deathbed. And she taught us all how to fight. And she loved the game. She loved people. And she loved her God. And that was, she's a great, great role model for me.